AM 1430 KRGI 105.5 FM. Good morning. I'm Brian Gallagher. This is Community Connection. Let's get caught up on things involving the city. We want to make sure that everything looks spiffy for spring. Rachael Stramel's here to explain more about that in her spring cleanup discussion. Welcome back. How you doing?
I'm well. Good morning.
Let's talk about spring cleanup because we're going to get another dose of winter here for the next day or so. But underneath, there's little green things waiting and there's buds and all of that stuff ready to go, so let's make sure it has a chance to shine through.
This last weekend was hard. I wanted to get out there and get my hands dirty and get my yard cleaned up so that all those green shoots are popping up and looking beautiful, but we need to wait.
You must have seen my wife because she kept looking out the door, walking out. She'd kind of walk up to something, give it an inspection, shuffle it around a little bit, and then try to walk away. But 15 minutes later, she's doing it again. And so that's where I just said, you know what? I think I got some stuff to do. Good luck.
I hope she covered it up because this cold snap's going to be hard on those little shoots.
I agree. All right, so let's talk about strategies, plans, and schedules.
Okay, so yard waste cleanup. We need to wait another 6 whole weeks before we really get in there to let those little green shoots have a chance because we all know winter's coming back again. And when you do get in there, make sure that you're collecting your yard waste and either taking it out to the yard waste, the transfer station for free disposal. They're open until 4 p.m. during the week and at noon on Saturdays. Or you're bagging it and you can mulch it and add it back to your garden beds as mulch instead of buying that stuff from the hardware store that we don't know where it came from or what's on it, and they're adding paint to it so that it's pretty. We also want to make sure that when you're getting out there with your chemicals, your fertilizers, your herbicides, your pesticides, that you're reading what's on the bag and you're applying only as much as you need. There's a lot of talk about nitrates in the groundwater right now. That's one thing that each homeowner can do on an individual basis to be mindful and do better about managing the nitrates in the groundwater.
We need to be aware of that, too, because there's so many wells around here. You just have to be conscientious and understand that everything you put on the ground eventually is going to seep down. What's going to happen next?
Really, it's kind of crazy. Some areas of town, groundwater's as close as 4 feet below the surface. So those areas, that nitrate, that nitrogen, that fertilizer that we're putting on our grass, it gets down through the dirt and into that groundwater so fast. It's surprising. Other areas of town, it's closer to 10, 20 feet below the surface. So that has a little bit more time for the dirt to get those fertilizers out and to kind of utilize those nutrients within the dirt and the bugs and the microbes and all that fun stuff. But here in town, we really need to be mindful. Make sure you're reading the package. Only use as much as you're supposed to use, not what you think is enough.
Keep in mind, they have those settings on purpose on your spreaders. They've got the little dials that you can put in there, and it's designed to make sure that that all works together to get you the best results possible because they want to sell you more fertilizer. They want to sell you more treatments. And so if it does a good job, then they've done theirs, and you can make sure you're doing yours just by reading the directions and applying it properly. Yes.
And if you do choose to hire a company to come out, make sure that they're doing their part to apply the fertilizer properly. They are trying to sell you more. They want you to have that nice green golf course lawn. Make sure you're being mindful of the product that is being put on your property.
There you go. So what else do we need to remind folks about right now?
If you could please pick up after your dog. That 40% of homes in America have dogs. That's almost 7 million dogs, and they tend to poo. Dog feces carry a lot of human pathogens, human wastes, and if we do interact with them, then we have the chance of getting sick or having our kids get sick or having our neighbors get sick. And pet waste doesn't become compost. It kind of melts away in the rain for up to a year, and all of that bacteria just goes right out to our waterways. So we're fishing in Pooh River or swimming in Pooh River or splashing around in the summertime in Pooh River. So if you could just pick up after your pets, that'd be a quick and easy way to do better.
Pooh River really kind of defines just exactly the reason you need to get this cleaned up. And the other thing, too, is if you take your dog on a walk, take a bag with you and be a courteous neighbor and a courteous visitor. Do not start Pooh River in somebody else's yard.
Please.
And that's with an exclamation point on the please. Okay, so we've talked about fertilizer stuff. We've talked about pet stuff. Anything else that's high on the topic list today?
No, just stay warm in this next cold blast.
Okay, and then a reminder, too, that you'll be able to get rid of some of the wastes out at the transfer station, and they'll be shifting more to a summer schedule later as warmer weather comes. But still 6 weeks before you're really supposed to start digging in deep. So even though it's hard, be patient. Let your green thumb just blossom. Let it look like the golf course, and then you can use that as your guide moving forward. Rachael Stramel, City of Grand Island, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Good morning from AM 1430 KRGI 105.5 FM.